Hello nursery, Mrs Armstrong here. I'm going to be reading you our story of the week, which is Honey Biscuits by Meredith Hooper. And we're in my kitchen today so that we too can make honey biscuits together. Here are all the ingredients that we are going to need. Okay, are you ready for today's story? Ben was cooking with his gran. "What shall we make?" asked Ben. "Honey biscuits," said Gran. "What do we need?" asked Ben. "We need a cow in a field eating fresh green grass. Munch, dribble, munch all day long." "A cow," said Ben, "and grass for honey biscuits?" "Oh yes," said Gran. "The cow turns the grass into creamy milk. Here's some milk. Shake the milk around and around and it turns into smooth yellow butter. You add 120 grams of smooth yellow butter, and that's exactly what we need for our biscuits. Now we need sugar cane, growing thick and tall in the warm, moist air till it's way, way above your head and as thick as your wrist. Then it's crushed and cleaned and boiled, and it turns into shiny little grains of white sugar. Here's the sugar that we're going to add to the butter. 120 grams of shiny white sugar, said Gran. It's exactly what we need. Mix the butter and the sugar together in a bowl until they are smooth. And if I turn my camera around, you'll be able to see Grace mixing the butter and the sugar together. "The butter mustn't be too hard," said Gran. "It should be nice and soft." "What do we need now?" asked Ben. "Oh, 1,000 buzzing bees, buzz," said Gran, working all day long, sucking up the sweet nectar from the flowers and then flying back to their hives and packing the nectar into little waxy cells where it changes into runny honey. So I have some honey here to add to our biscuits. "Add 1 large tablespoon of runny honey," said Gran. "It's exactly what we need." So Grace is adding the honey to the butter and the sugar. Now we need a clocky hen, scratching all day long, pecking up the seeds and the worms and the tiny grubs. She eats 2 handfuls of wheat, some scraps from the kitchen, and a spoonful of special food. Then, every morning, she lays an egg. Here we are, we have an egg here. "But we don't need all the eggs," said Gran. "We just need the yellow part, the yolk." So again, let me tell you a picture of Grace, who is taking the yellow yolk out of the egg. Put the runny honey and the egg into a bowl with the butter and the sugar and beat it up. Now here comes the tricky part, separating the yellow yolk from the clear part. The white isn't easy. You just have to learn by doing it. And that's just what we've just seen Grace doing, haven't we? We've just seen Grace separating the egg. And there's Ben doing the same. He just wants the yellow yolk in his honey biscuits. Put the egg yolk into the mixture, said Gran, and beat it up. Right, I'll show you a picture of Grace beating up those ingredients. So we've got the butter, the sugar, the honey, and the egg yolk. What do we need next? Said Ben. Some dried bark, said Gran. From a faraway tree. Bark? Said Ben. I don't want to eat bark. It's called cinnamon. And cinnamon is a spice, said Gran. Honey and spice make things nice. Just wait and see. The cinnamon is a dark brown powder. There's the jar, and here's what the cinnamon looks like inside. Can you see the brown powder? And that's exactly what we need, said Gran. Just a tiny bit, a level teaspoon of powdery brown cinnamon. And now we need a field of golden wheat with ears full of seeds ripening in the sun. Hey, look, can you see there's a little mouse in amongst this wheat? And there's the... Is it the combine harvester? It is, look, that the farmer's got. So we grind up these seeds until we get soft white flour. There's my flour packet. And here's what the flour looks like. Can you see? All soft and white. Now we add 180 grams of that soft white flour, says Gran. That's exactly what we need to make our honey biscuits. Put the cinnamon into the mixture, said Gran, and then add the flour little by little, but don't beat it for too long. Now we've made a stiff dough, and here comes the good part. Well, before we do the good part, let me show you the stiff dough that Grace is making for us here. Adding the flour little by little. Now for the good part, says Gran. We have to take a little piece of dough and roll it quickly into your hands. And then you put it onto a baking tray. Roll the ball in some shiny white sugar and some cinnamon too. Okay, let's have a go at that then. Are we ready to take a little bit of dough yet, Grace? No, it's not quite ready. But when you're making them at home, you can have great fun rolling those little balls and popping them on the baking tray. You've got to give each little ball a little bit of space, said Gran. Why? Said Ben. Oh, wait and see, said Gran. So can you see they're putting the little bit of dough, spreading them out onto the baking tray. Remember, the oven mustn't be too hot or too cool. It has to be just right to cook the honey biscuits. Gran pulled on the oven gloves and very carefully put the tray of little balls into the oven. You must let your grown-up do that for you. Soon, a wonderful cooking smell filled the kitchen. Look, Ben's been really helpful here because he's finished making his biscuits now. He's helping with the washing up. Let's have a peep in the oven, says Gran. We need to see how our honey biscuits are getting on. The little balls had disappeared. They had turned into round, flat, golden brown biscuits. Gran put on her oven gloves and took the hot tray out of the oven. Let the honey biscuits cool just for a minute or two, said Gran. They look yummy, don't they? My honey biscuits, said Ben. He's very proud of himself, isn't he, for making them. We have needed a cow, 1,000 bees, a hen, a field of sugar corn, sugar cane, sorry, a field of wheat and part of a tree. All these things that he's needed, look. And we've needed the help of some fresh green grass, brightly coloured flowers, said Gran, and we've needed the good earth, the warm sun and the rain. Gosh, what a lot of things we've needed to help to make our biscuits, haven't we? But Ben couldn't say anything because his mouth was too full of lovely, warm honey biscuits. Lucky Ben, he's getting to eat them up. And then there is a recipe. Now, I have put the recipe on the slides for this week's activities. So if you want to have a go at making these honey biscuits, then you can. There is a recipe on the slides. Just before I go, I just wanted to show you the best bit of making the honey biscuit, which is I have a baking tray here, and Grace has very kindly made the dough. So I'm going to take a little piece of the dough. I'm going to roll it in my hands to make a ball, can you see? And then they suggested that you roll the little ball in some sugar and some cinnamon. So I have some sugar here. I'll just add a little bit of cinnamon and then we'll roll the biscuit in there. I think I've probably got too big a bit of dough here, but never mind, it'll make a nice big biscuit. And then I can pop it onto my baking tray and we'll put that in the oven. Okay, thank you for listening to the story, and we hope you have great fun making your own honey biscuits. See you soon, nursery. Bye.